Yep, chilled water. And now it got windy. I'd prefer not to. Big stream of water. And the bow is also plugged, so I'm gonna, oh, that one's almost empty now. It's too windy to try and grab this thing now. I've got to go do a lesson, so yeah, I'll let this drain. All right, so this morning is the day. I put a strap underneath. Slightly cockeyed. Wind's blowing. We're gonna try and get this thing off the boat before it destroys the boat. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, well, I've got it almost down. I'm gonna walk along the edge. Probably shouldn't do this by yourself, but it's nice out and I don't have a choice. So I'm gonna move it across here. Keep it coming down. I forgot to put the drain plugs in. No surprise there. So I'm gonna have to get her just about to the water and then I'll jump in it and throw the drain plugs in. But at least I feel better dropping from this height as opposed to another height. So, and tink. Good thing for the rubber. All right, so I'm gonna get in this thing, put the drain plugs in, and hopefully we should be good. It's finally off this damn boat. All right, so I got the drain plugs in, both aft and forward. I'm gonna let it hang on the davit for a little bit just to make sure that it doesn't sink. It's a Boston whaler, so theoretically they're unsinkable, but I don't trust this boat at all. So I'm gonna let it hang in the slings, but that's a huge weight. It took me like a week to figure out how to strap this. It's just, you know, that crane isn't the best in the world. It kind of slacks up on you and it just seems pretty weak. So the thought of it releasing usually at the worst possible time is definitely a valid concern. So yeah, it's just a little worried, but did it by myself. Did it in the morning. Usually by the afternoon now, it's been blowing too hard for me to even try and attempt that. So I've got down here, the boat's wet. We're doing a whole bunch of work today, grinding fairing on that all the way around, prime and paint that. Bow pulpit's coming along. I think I'm gonna varnish the wood on that. I've got to do another sand. I washed it yesterday and did teak new on it to clean it. It still needs a little sanding, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna prep it. And I think I'm gonna put epoxy on it first just to get it hard, and then do about 10 layers of the epiphanes that I would normally use, and hopefully, and then caulk around the edges, and hopefully that will seal everything, so I'll get a good longevity out of it. And then I'll paint. I'll tape that off and then paint the bowsprit. All right, so it's really windy out now. I've got everything prepped, ready to go. I cleaned everything with mineral spirits. Put this back on here. And I had the choice of using an epoxy, two-part epoxy, or epiphanes, which is what I would normally use. And I thought this was hard. I can use, it's a crusty layer on the top, but I'll be able to get enough out of it to do it. And then I'm going to thin it out with the thinner, because I really want it to penetrate into all these little pores and stuff like that. If you use an epoxy, it's too thick and it really just kind of sits on top. You can thin it out a little bit with some acetone, like 10%, but it's much harder, and epiphanes will bend and flex a little bit more. So I'd made the decision that I'm going to use that. I could put a layer of epoxy on and then to like 10 layers of the epiphanes, but I'm just going to thin it so it penetrates, because it's all dried out now, and I got to get this done before the sun goes back down and it gets wet again. So that's what I'm going to do. I got enough. We're going to use the epiphanes. We're going to thin it out so it penetrates. And I started with 60 grit, then 80 grit, then 150, and then 220. So this is all finished with 220, and dried out the wood and cleaned everything up. So looks pretty good. As good as it's gonna get for now. So best it's been looked in about 30 years. So let's get the let's mix this up and get the first coat on. Real quick side note: if you're gonna go blasting through a marina with millions and millions of dollars of boats here, you're probably gonna get pulled over. You're responsible for your wake. This is a no wake zone. Don't be that guy. Morning, Abby.
Good morning, Dave.
What are we doing?
We are taking the caulk off the brow.
Fun job, isn't it?
So much fun.
Yeah. We're almost done. So, and you can see some more rotten spots right there. And really the biggest spot that I've got is, of course, in the worst possible area, which is the corner. So I'm ripping all of this wood from all the way up there. I just took this corner piece off here, and then I'm gonna take this piece off right here and go all the way up. And so I cogitated about how I'm gonna do this. Am I gonna, because this is a solid piece of wood right here, and I don't have time to bend this corner piece here. It's blowing like crazy. Storm's coming in. We just gotta I got charter this afternoon, and we got 50,000 other projects. So if I was a shipwright, I would love to just, take a nice big piece of stock and then wet it and bend it and do it the old school cool way. But we don't have time for that. So we've done it the easy way. And I've taken a piece of pressure treated stock, and if you cut a bunch of lines in it like that, it bends. And so I can essentially get the same exact profile that I need, and this is going to be on the inside, so you don't see that. All that will get filled in with epoxy and stuff like that, and then the outside I'll have a clean slate to sculpt and curve and fair out. So we're going to put that right from there all the way to there. So I'm just going to take that little piece off next, and then start putting this up. And then I've got to do a couple layers on the bow. In fact, I should probably go do that now. I think it's dry for the varnish. I guess we'll walk up and do that real quick. I'll show you that. And then this is what 2 coats looks like. It's penetrated pretty well into, you can't see it or not, but into the surface. It looks really nice. Or better than it ever has before. So 2 more coats hopefully before the rain comes, and then that will really seal it. And then that will be 2, 4 coats. So I'll do at least another 6 coats after that. So all right, it's really windy out. I'm back inside. I got a layer of varnish on the front and mocked up that other piece in the back, and now I'm going to hang my first piece of wallpaper. So this is the trickiest one. It's got stairs, it's got this thing and everything else. So I've mocked it up. I put 2 clamps, pushed it against the wall, and cut it out. So I'm going to wet it and then finish cutting it, and then we'll put up the next piece, and hopefully the rest of it will be pretty easy. All right, it's Monday afternoon. It's almost 3 o'clock, so we all know what time that is. Getting time to go for coffee. Anyway, finished up. My dad helped me this weekend to get a lot of this wallpaper up, but we got all of the wallpaper in here up, so that's looking pretty good. It's like this nice grainy sort of pattern. Looks really nice, and it balances well with that pattern. Nice. That does the whole hallway here. So just finished up around the corner here, up top, all these tiny little damn ass things. And I just did this corner here, and I thought that I was going to get to a point, because I've got that and that done up there, that I could just start running some square footage again. And I thought I could do a nice, real easy hack. This is obviously one of the engines, and then this is access to the engine right here. I thought this trim could come off, and I was just going to leave this panel here and just wallpaper right over the whole thing, cut it out, put the trim back, good to go. But that's not the case, because the trim doesn't come off very easily. So now I've got to pull this whole thing out. I got Matt outside just cleaning up the interior of this, and so now I'll have to offset it with the trim, figure that out. It's not hard. just plumb it up and figure out where the hell it's supposed to go and just cut new things. But I thought I could just run it real quick, but not necessarily the case. So anyway, hopefully I'm gonna put up another piece or two here, and then I'm heading for coffee. Picked up the blowers this weekend, so hopefully we'll be back on the Detroit diesel project, and got a lot of other stuff going on this week. So lots of projects that we're hopefully gonna wrap up with and get this place cleaned up, and yeah, put a whole video together up to today, I guess, and then we'll continue on. All right, before I scream through the rest of this, I'll show you how to quickly hang wallpaper. And I mean quickly hang wallpaper. So if you want to do it a different way, great. Leave the comments down below, whatever. I got to do this quickly, but it comes out really good. So I've got a big hole here. I thought I could take the trim off and just like literally wallpaper all the way down, just cut it out and be done with it, and then slap the new stuff on, or put the trim back on and be done. It's not the way it works. So now I've got to cut out this hole here, obviously where the engine is. So I've just put up this piece here and then this piece here, and I use these two tools, basically my brush and my straight edge, and I take the brush and I brush it out, and I take the brush and I cram it all the way up in the corner here. Gives me a nice tight line up there. I take my straight edge, put it in the corner, I use my knife and I cut it, and I get a perfectly straight edge all the way down. I've done that with this little piece right here because I've got the door in the way here. So what I've done is I've lined up my pattern. I've overlapped it a little bit, so I've got some underneath here. I'm going to put my straight, and I've taken my brush, smoothed everything out, put it underneath here. So now it's all nice and tight there. I'm gonna take my straight edge, cut it. The same thing here. Come down here, put this against the floor. I got a nice tight edge along the floor. I'm gonna put my straight edge up in there, cut it right there, and then that's nice and tight. So do the same thing all the way along here, and the same thing all the way up in here. So that's how you lay wallpaper or hang wallpaper quickly when you have a lot of obstacles to get through in a morning. So hopefully I should be able to finish this in no time, and then back over to this side, and I'll finish this wall. I'm already up to the first door there, so I've just got this middle section to do, and then hopefully clean up, I'm done, and then we're gonna move on to 20, 30 more projects that we got going on. So all right, so I was doing my video the other day and realized that I missed out on a whole section, and that was the finishing of this. So I have the unveiling of the wallpaper, which I'll show you in just a second. And I don't know if you can see in here, but there's the output, and well, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I got 2 drains right down there for the new AC pan, and it fits in there perfectly. I had to just notch out just a little piece of my sound down, which is fine. There's insulation on top of the compressor, and there's a bed that goes on top of here. So it's going to be a hell of a lot quieter with the sound down, and it was perfectly fine with the lid on top and then the mattress on it. You couldn't hear it anyway. So this should be resolved, and then the condensate drain just goes to the bilge in the generator room, which is directly below us. So I've kind of cleaned up. The only thing I haven't done is my forward. We have all of this down and wallpaper sized up and everything ready for wallpaper. But just like every other project, if I'm going to do the wallpaper, I have this old sink and vanity and countertop. So I might as well put granite and a new sink and a new vanity in. So we're going to do that next before I do the wallpaper. This shouldn't take me all that long to do the wallpaper. So I've got to go source a piece of granite. I'll probably cut it myself and cut out I'll just do a top mount sink in here. It'll just be easier because I can cut it out by myself, and it's supposed to have a polish the top where we have like in the other ones where they're undermount and the top part of the granite needs to be polished. I can just do a nice square top mount here and make it look nice. So that's what we're gonna do here. Still got to do the hardwood floors in here. This carpet's going to come out. This carpet is going to come out. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but carpet's gotten trashed. So the reveal and all of the wallpaper is in. So we did this whole thing here. Came out really nice. And I could have paid somebody to do this, and you know, for what it costs or what they're going to charge me, it's just easier if I do it because, frankly, I did a better job. Like, yeah, so a little bit of something there. I'm gonna wipe down the wall there. But it came out real nice. It's a nice pattern, tone on tone, kind of modern, but still classic. All the way down through the floors. This is the VIP stateroom. So again, I think I showed you this last time. It's kind of a nice, it's got a texture to it. It's got like silvers and grays in it, kind of neat, but it matches well with the countertops that we got and the backsplash that I have. It matched perfectly. And this wall here, if you guys own Hatteras, you know that the deck drain is directly above here. And mine blew one time, so I opened this up and I want access to this, so mine just screws in. And so I didn't wallpaper this, and I just put a bead of caulk here, so it will allow me, if I need to take down this wall if I need to get to it pretty quickly. So all this is done, and I went through and redid all of the wood throughout the entire lower level, cleaned it up with mineral spirits, and then I've got a what do you call it, a stain cleaner that I use. It came out great. Looks pretty much brand new. So hallway, I did all the curves and everything. Everything came out really nice. See, even the nice joints up in there. Nice and tight. Look at that. All the way down. That's actually the wall. I tried digging that out. And here are the engine room bays here and here that I said to you, oh, I'm just going to take the trim off of here and then just wallpaper right over it, cut it out, and then be done with it. That's not the way it was. But I spent some time. You can see it's a perfect match from here down to here, and then from here over. Now, in my past life, I did construction and a ton of stonework and stuff like that. So this was pretty easy for me to do the geometry of this and figure all this out and just plumb everything up and level everything across. Can't use a level on a boat because, well, we're floating and it's just not 100% level, and I still have the tender hanging off the side. So, but these came out really nice. Same thing on the other side, minus this crack right here, which I'm gonna fix somehow, and the other one there too. But this all came out really nice. And then the same thing all the way down on the end. I even did that little top part right up there. It's like 1 inch little strip. Came out perfect. All up into the corners. So this came out great. Just gotta put the wall plates back on, but it's, I mean, if you look down here, it's really nice and bright. It's clean. Everything looks pretty good. New floors I put in. This is engineered teak, so it's not the luxury vinyl that we have up top. And then I will show you what I just did. So this is marine grade filler. You can see it's all, I had one more tiny little joint to do, and I had just enough, but I went to the sunny side of the boat, and it potted up really quick. So I just didn't have enough, but I'll show you. I've got 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 coats now of varnish on. So it's looking really nice. And when I came in this morning, there was a bird that took a nice dookie right up there. So that was great. I had to sand all that out. But I've got like 8 coats on here. This is looking really nice. So I'm beyond the point of like worrying about that. And then I'll show you up here. So this is like the really bad one. So this is all just finally fared out. So I just put this on here. And this is where the wood transitioned from wood to wood piece. So yeah, it's almost hard. So I'll be able to sand this and then prime it. And then we're gonna paint it. And I did that one. And then this one. So all of these now have been done all the way around the boat. And we're sanded, smooth, ready for primer. This window's gotta get pulled out. All these windows gotta get pulled out. And that will be the next probably major project that we've got going on this boat. And if you can see, tender is still hanging out in the water, but everything else is coming along. I have the new windows, which, you know, we just did this and then I cracked it like literally the day after I put all this new glass in. So I've got 2 new glass pieces thanks to Charleston Glass. Randy and those guys over there do a good job for me. And we actually take care of his boat too. But and then there's a crack here too, so he got me one for here as well. So we'll replace those and put the trim pieces back and clean this boat up. So that's it. I got Matt and Abby over on Bojan. They are doing a detail and a wax right now. We've got a big event coming up next Wednesday where I've got to wear my captain's outfit and my yacht whites and everything else. So that will be fun. And that's it. Oh yeah, pollen season is already upon us. It's like 80 something degrees here and there's lots and lots of pollen. So it stinks for painting. I really thought I could get this done before that season rolled around. So we're gonna have to kind of work around that. But I gotta at least get a primer coat and a base coat of the white all the way around. Oh, and then I still need to finish this here. All of that was rotted here and here. And I've been sort of mocking up. I got some pressure treated wood here. This is like the same thickness and I could put, I'd have to like round that, or you just cut a bunch of little slits. And I did this the other day and then I was showing my dad and it's split. So this will make a nice curve, but so I think I'm gonna put that up, maybe something else. I haven't figured that one out yet. And then I gotta ferre all of that out, but that goes all along. Of course, it's right on the curve. You know, there's only 4 curves on the boat and that one's gotta be rotted. So right there, it's gotta get done. So that's next on the project, and then back to paint. That's it. All right, I'm waiting for Matt to show up. So I'm gonna turn this nasty ass light into something that looks halfway decent. Notice it's LED, it's actually 32 volts. I just put a new light bulb in. They're like $12 each and they don't work very well either. I think I've used it for maybe an hour and the bulb is already dead. So I just replaced it with another one. So while I'm here, I'm gonna get out all this caulk, clean all this junk up and make this look nice. This is obviously the way you get on and off the boat. So it's just terrible appearance. So I'm gonna do this real quick while I'm waiting for Matt. I've already put 2 more layers of varnish on the front. I think I'm just about done with that. I got 8 or 10 layers on there now. So then I'm gonna go and do some priming with epoxy on the bow pulpit and everywhere else, and then probably this as well and a few other spots. And I'm still working on the wood. My saw has died, so I found a new battery. We'll see if that works. If not, I'll have to head back to the shop and cut this wood for the corner, and then we'll have to ferre everything else out, and we should be good to go, ready for some primer and some paint. Hey Matt, how we doing today? Terrible. All right, so I gave up on the back corner. I actually went home to my shop and fabricated a piece, and it went on, but it was just way too freaking small, so I wanted to beat it into submission. So in the meantime, I'm grinding and ferring and getting ready for, I'm gonna do some more marine grade filler, like up in the corners there that we're talking about, along the rail and everything else. So I'm doing that so everything is ready for primer, so I can just mix 1 batch of primer and go hit everything all at once. So this is almost done, ready to go. So now we gotta pull out the window because this is leaking. These are Hatteras windows. So if you know anything about Hatteras windows, they were designed to leak. So I fixed them before, they've been leaking, but now we're gonna take the entire frame off here because it's all rotten underneath here. So we've got all the screws off and we're about to pull it right now. So I figured I would do a video of that. See, it's just, oh yeah, coming off, look at that. Oh, look at the inside. Oh, she's been leaking for a while. That's good stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna help Matt. This is nasty. I'll do another video once I get this whole thing off. Okay, so we've got all this off. Look at this, is all just rot in here from the window frame. Matt's gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on this. You can tell that it was leaking right in here. See all the discoloration? And then right up here in the corner. So this is really old stuff. We're gonna have to clean all this up here, all the way around. Eey. This is butyl tape. I have a roll of it, so it's probably just old and rotten at this point, and probably just wasn't installed properly. It's all wet in here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead, clean all this up. It's getting cloudy over there, so I'm hoping within the next hour it rains, just to add to our misery in our day today. So other than that, it's nice, like 80 degrees. It's February. Shorts, t-shirt, and we've got a window open. So we're gonna have to do the other 1, 2, 3, 4 windows as well. But this one I know is leaking because I could see drips of water right in there. So I'm gonna work on this one first. Hi, Abby.
Hey, Captain Dave.
All right, so what are we doing?
We are replacing the window because it was leaking.
We're actually on the other side. So the video I did yesterday was that side over there. We haven't put that in. We have a storm coming. Like I said to you yesterday, we were gonna do this in the rain. So I probably won't be able to get my varnish done. I won't be able to get any of the primer done. We'll have to sand all the stuff that I put up, and then we've really got to get in these windows. I also took out the door window this morning because we were gonna do it all at once, and it's half an inch short. So I got Matt running up to go get a new window cut so we can get that put in. And we've already mocked this up. We've put butyl tape right here. So it's a black sticky tape that you use for installing windows. And then I got 5 tubes of 4200 because there's a big gap between here and there. So we're gonna butter the hell out of all of this right here and stick this back in. You can see all of the corrosion that was in here. So hopefully I'll solve that problem by putting this on. And then once we do that, I'll have to go through and clean it all up. I'm probably gonna mask this right now before I forget, so it'll be easier for cleanup. So most of it will just go out onto the tape, and then we can pull the tape and then just use mineral spirits to wipe it all down and hopefully have a good seal. So we've mocked this up already. I'll show you what it looks like when we put it in. All right, it's in. We did a fast cure 4200 for a bead. It sucked. We had to work really quickly to get a nice bead down around here. Usually mineral spirits, you wipe it down and it's nice and easy to make a bead, but just by getting this in, it took a little bit longer than expected and was a pain in the butt. So I just did some more filler. We're waiting. I need more butyl tape for the other side, and waiting for Matt to come back with that so we can pull that one out and do that one over there. And then Charleston Glass, when they measured that, they used rubber feet on it. So I think that it should work out fine. I think we just didn't have the rubber feet, and I didn't know that that's what they had measured out. So we should be good there. He's coming back with that, and hopefully we can get this boat dried back in before the rain comes.